Failure Frame. I became the strongest and annihilated everyone with low-level spells. Is a pretty good series. I'm just going to refer to it as Failure Frame for short because the Isekai titles are so ridiculous. I see people comparing this show to Arifureta. I think I actually like this one better. So Failure Frame is about a class of kids that gets teleported to another world. They all get powers. You've seen the trope before. And when they go to grade their powers, Toka Memori is an E-ranked hero. So in this world, status spells or status effects are essentially worthless. And the ones that he gets are paralyzed, poison, and sleep. And they explain to him that in this world, they don't have any range and they don't really have any effect. Like they hardly last. So no one uses them because they're so weak. Since he's the lowest ranked student, the goddess says that he needs to go to the dungeon as a sacrifice to prove a point so the kids in the class can get used to see their classmates dying because they need to win the war against the Demon King. He essentially respawns every so often, and then she brings in a new class of students or other worlders or whatever you want to call them to fight against the Demon King with the promise that they can go back to their own world if they kill him because his essence or something with his body is the only thing that has like the magic in it to get them back to their own world. So he gets sent to this dungeon that they think is inescapable as a sacrifice. And obviously his abilities, for whatever reason, maybe because he's from another world, actually work as long as he wants them to. So when he uses poison, it lasts until they die. When he uses paralyze, they can't move until he feels like it. You can see in the image here that the CGI is pretty bad. It's obviously low budget anime, but I really like the story. I really enjoyed the manga and the light novel so far, so I'd still recommend it. So he goes to the bottom of this dungeon that no one's ever escaped. He gets super powerful, levels way up through all this because he's killing all these crazy strong monsters. The bigger picture is a revenge story. So his whole goal for the series is revenge against the goddess and against the classmates that sided with her in sacrificing him. And the reason that I like this more than a lot of isekai or anime stuff is because he just uses normal judgment that most people would use. You saw in the beginning, he was abused by his parents, had a messed up background. He's become emotionally detached and just doesn't really care that much when he kills people. He wasn't like a serial killer or a crazy person in his world, but now that he has the ability to kill bad people, he just does it. He's not worried about feeling guilty or immoral or anything like that. And he never tries to use like talk no jutsu to win them to his side or convince the evil people to not be evil. He's just like, no, fuck you. I'm going to kill bad people and I don't want to hurt good people. Even with his classmates, the student council president type girl that you're seeing here did stand up for him and the goddess just beat her ass. So even with his revenge, he's not just blanket wanting to kill all of them like a lunatic. He just wants to kill the ones who told him to go die and fuck off and the goddess. Like you can see here, this group of guys was going to kill him just because they happened to come across him. And he pretends to be scared and then he's like, fuck you all, kills them. And that's kind of how he goes about business. He does make a companion. It's pretty obvious from the intro song and all that. And because she's a nice person and reminds him of the aunt that took him in, he wants to help her out and be nice to her. So it's a really weird praise for me to give, but I just like that him just feeling like a regular human kind of separates it from all the crazy OPMCs out there who get a whole harem and some ability where they can just dominate every fight and kill the whole world. Even his ability, as OP as it is very limited. So what you see pretty early on is he's like, oh, that thing is out of my range. In the book, it specifies he has like different ranges for each power, like roughly 20 meters, but they vary a little bit. And then he has to say the word out loud. So if someone were fast enough to kill him before he could say the word, he would just be a glass cannon. Or if they just attacked him from far away, he couldn't do anything to him. So he's not invincible. And the world itself is pretty cool because the whole reason they got someone to begin with is because other worlders are immune to this like essence that comes off the Demon King. But the people in this world are really affected by it. And the closer you get to them, the stronger it is. So they need these other worlders who cannot be affected by that to go kill him. And then obviously he can spawn monsters and all that sort of stuff. And again, they're stronger the closer they are to him. You have this whole area of forest that is filled with these golden-eyed monsters. And there's a bunch of lore that goes into that as well. So it's a really cool story overall. And I just think it's a really good way to do an overpowered main character where he does have ability that's kind of broken, but he's by no means invincible. And he's not some crazy psycho who just wants to murder everyone, but he's also just not going to go around forgiving mass murderers and rapists and stuff. So just having normal judgment and limits on his ability, for better or worse, I think really separates him from a lot of the overpowered isekai main characters that you see. And then I do like his companions and some of the other classmates. There's good characters pretty much throughout. So I don't want to go too long. I just want to talk about this show because to me, this should be more of the standard for Isekai. I know people like the power fantasy self-insert stuff and all the harems and all that kind of thing, but I appreciate when there's more to it than just that. And I think most people do. There's a reason that Jobless Reincarnation is one of the most popular ones, and Shield Hero was super popular. Although that series doesn't feel like it's ever going to finish. But either way, I'm going to leave it there. I don't want to spoil anything. I think you should just go watch it. Or if the CGI really bugs you, go read the manga and the light novels. If you've seen the show, let me know what you think. I try to respond to all the comments that aren't just insults. Like and subscribe and all that shit. Thanks. See ya.